1 2 1 2. It's your girl Regine. What it do? What it do? You are now listening to The Bold, The Brown, and The Opinionated Podcast. What's up, y'all? What we talking about today? Let's get into it. Welcome back, my BBO gang. Once again, it's your girl Regine back with another one. And I am so blessed to be here with my sis, Lena.
Hey, y'all.
Now, if you don't remember, Lena was also featured on Bold Relationship Talk 1. If you haven't listened to it, go check that out and hear all about Lena's opinions on relationships and a whole bunch of stuff. But today, we're not here to talk about that. So first, let me start off by saying Happy Mother's Day.
Right, thank you, baby.
And Happy Mother's Day to all the other mothers.
Absolutely.
Yes, you guys are so much appreciated. If you didn't know, now you know.
Yes, your hard work does not go unnoticed at all.
Ain't that right? But today, we're here to talk to a special mother and all about her journey. All right, now, Lane, you ready to get started?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So, Lane, first tell me how your journey as a mother got started.
Okay, I became a mother when I was 19. I started young. Like, I was really young. But I was having complications with my pregnancy. And I'm thinking, being as though I'm so young and everything, I'm thinking like this is my first pregnancy. The symptoms I was having was normal. And meanwhile, I had severe preeclampsia. So my first child was my miracle baby, and his name is Ricky. And he was 1 pound, 7 ounces. Doctors was unsure and, scaring me half to death. And then, he's here and he's like, you won't even know. Like,
how did you feel like when Ricky was born so early? Tell him what your due date was.
My due date was December 28th, 2014.
And when was Ricky born?
He was born September 21st, 2014.
So y'all see that's a big difference.
Yeah, he was in the hospital until March of 2015.
And as a mother, how hard was that journey? Like seeing Ricky, in the NICU, but then also seeing him progress, see him like make it through all his surgeries. Like, how did that make you feel each step of the way?
It was hard. It was like it was very hard. It wasn't. That probably was like the hardest thing I could ever like imagine or come close to. Like, I couldn't imagine like losing my child, and for everything to be up in the air, for doctors to keep telling me they can't promise nothing, and how like the chances is lower than like what we thought, or like whatever. Like, he's been through 4 surgeries within them 4 or 5 months of being in the hospital. 4 surgeries. I was counting the days, like
literally counting the days until he was able to come home. And then when he came home,
2 days later, went back to the hospital. He was dehydrated. He wasn't like taking his like bottles. He wasn't keeping them down. And he was there. We were there for another 2 days, and then we came back home, and we were like, he's been in and out the hospital for a little while after he had a seizure. Like, he had a seizure. And we had just left the doctors when he had that seizure. It was a lot. It was definitely a lot. And during that time, I was pregnant again. Had another kid.
During that time.
During that time frame. During them few years. And during that time, I was pregnant with my daughter, Rakai. My baby girl, she's 3. And she was born July 2016. No, 15, I'm sorry.
And how many months apart are they?
10 months.
10 months.
10 months.
So how was that, like, being pregnant with your second child while your first child was still in the hospital?
Oh my goodness, it was hard. It was really hard. I mean, my pregnancy with my daughter wasn't too hard. It was more so my son's situation. It was more so having to, like be there for him as much as possible. And then I knew I wasn't ready for another kid. Like I just knew it wasn't like, I I didn't feel like it was my time again. So I was mixed emotions and everything. I was just praying to God, like, because the doctors were so unsure at that time during them surgeries. I was just praying that, like, if he was to just keep my son, taken care of, just like bless him, like, then I would keep my daughter. I would just, like, love her, like, just accept it. I would accept it. And God, like, helped my baby. And I love my daughter.
All right, Lane. So now, as a mother of two, how do you feel like your life changed?
I feel like financially we were okay, but I feel like my relationship started to fall apart. So things in my household started to change. So I couldn't really like embrace like the feeling, like, the feeling as much as I wanted to, because it's like, when you're miserable, your kids feel it, like,
You couldn't embrace what feeling? Like the feeling of what?
Like just enjoying like
the moments,
like just being in the house, like it was always like some type of bad energy. So it wasn't like a good environment space.
Mm-hmm. So now, since your relationship started to fall apart, so now how was as a single mom? So now you went from 2-income household, 2-parent household, with 2 kids, to being now essentially a single mom with 2 kids.
It at first it was okay, but then I wanted to go back to school. That's when it got hard. 2016, I decided like I'm gonna try to get back. My daughter's like she's 1, my son he's 2. Like it's just time to get back.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to school. I ended up dropping out.
So why did you drop out?
I dropped out due to like childcare, like challenges. Like it was like it felt impossible to find like a daycare that was either like open during the times or like got the space for my kids, or like when I did find daycare, every day I'm picking up my kids, you got a different bruise or a scratch and unexplained occurrence, and I'm like it wasn't, I just couldn't, it was
and I don't think people realize how stressful childcare is on a mother. Like, how stressful is that, not being able to find someone, reliable or, safe for your children?
It's very stressful. Like, there was times like I would cry. Like, I couldn't find it, and I don't have like a lot of family. I don't have like a lot of support. So I couldn't call like, somebody last minute, ask them or nothing. It was me and my kids, really. Like, and I had like people support, so I won't discredit anybody, because even the motivational talks told me through a lot. But when it came to babysitters, I just wouldn't even ask the soul. I still don't.
So, wow. So you said you feel like, you didn't have that much support. So what made you decide to go back to school again?
I moved in the area that was around more daycares. I moved out Penn Hill, so I had new daycare options. So I found a daycare and lucked up with like the perfect daycare. And my kids would go to that daycare during the day, and they would go to another daycare that was up the street overnight while I would go to work. And then same routine.
So you were going to school Monday through Thursday?
Monday through Thursday, and I would work on Fridays overnight, and then I would have the weekends off with them.
Okay. So you was literally working, like, work 8 hours a day, and then school 8 hours a day too, Monday through Friday.
Monday through Thursday.
Wow. Monday through Thursday. And then overnight. Dang. Physically. Like, how hard was that? First of all, being a CNA is not easy. And having 2 kids.
Yeah, it was exhausting. And then I felt bad. I felt bad for my kids. Because I felt like, I was, like, still in time from them. And they were, like, feeling that, I felt like.
Why do you think they were feeling that?
Because after a while, my daughter started to cry, like, when I would take her to the second daycare, like, to the point that I ended up pulling my kids out of there because I was like, I don't feel comfortable because why do my daughter keep crying every time I drop her off? But I felt like it also played a part in the fact that she wasn't, at home with me as much, like, and I feel like my kids missed me, and I feel like I missed them. Like, it was hard. It was hard.
Hard on both of y'all, on the kids and on you.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, Lane, I know that was probably hard for you to do. All right, so what's next in your journey?
I ended up not finishing the second time either.
Why?
Actually, because I fell on financial hardships. Like, I was pregnant again. I had met my twins' dad. Twins. Aww. Baby boys, Tristan and Trenton. They're my babies. They're 1 now. And I got pregnant with them, and it became harder working and going to school. That was 80 hours a week. It was hard, and then it was like definitely harder on my kids, like accepting the fact that I was pregnant already and I wasn't spending time with them. It was just too much. So I ended up choosing to quit school and just work. And so that became too hard, and then I wasn't working, and it just became
everything just
like
crashed.
Everything down. Just crashed.
And when you say everything crashed, what do you mean?
I sacrificed a lot. I just had to take some chances on some stuff as a mother. Like, I just had to just do what I had to do to make sure my kids was going to be all right. Like, I just had to figure it out. Like, I went from paying $650 rent to paying $1 something in rent because I had to move from. I had to step out my comfort zone. I had to, because I had to step back and be like, wait a minute, let me think about this. What am I going to do next? I definitely have to go back to school. That's all I kept thinking. Like, I definitely have to go back to school.
So the entire time you were pregnant with the twins, that you knew, like, for sure.
I had a game plan. Like, I just had to start, like, brainstorming. Had to start, like.
And how was that pregnancy with the twins?
It wasn't too bad. I was just sick a lot. It was, but, like, physically wise, it wasn't too bad until the end. It got bad, but it only, like, got bad, like, physically. Like, it didn't, like, mess with my, health and stuff, like my other 2 kids.
Okay, the twins gave you a good little pregnancy.
Yeah, and I was little with them or whatever.
So, like, are you still a single mom at this point, or the twins' dad, was he around?
The twins' dad is a good dad. He's a good dad. He's just not for me, man. Like, yeah. So we co-parents, and like, he gets his kids with no problem, and we, that's how we do it.
Okay, so now at this point in your life, you feel like you're a single parent of 4 kids, right? Oh my goodness, like, I couldn't even imagine, like, what you went throughout. Because how many years is that? Like, that's a total of what, 4 years? 5 years of, like, 5 years. So your first 5 years as a mother, from baby Ricky all the way to the twins, was like an uphill battle.
Yep, 5 years. My baby boy will be 5 in September. It's been a journey.
So what do you think your biggest sacrifices during that time was as a mother?
My biggest sacrifices a lot was, like, coming out of my comfort zone. Like, it was hard. Like, it was like, I can't express. Like, I keep saying it was hard because, like, y'all don't really understand. Like, some of y'all really might. It was really hard. I had to step out of my comfort zone. I moved to the projects.
So after all those sacrifices, like moving to the projects and, you know, stepping out of your comfort zone by doing that, what made you decide to go back again?
I knew, like, when I left that I was going to come back. I just didn't know when. And being as though I got pregnant again and was going from 2 to 4 kids, I knew for a fact I just had to, like, make my next move, like, really, like, smart. So once I moved to income-based housing, I decided to take advantage of that and go to school during that time so that I didn't have to work. So when my twins turned 6 weeks, I put them in daycare as well as with my other two, and I went back to school, and I was going to school full time.
And how was that?
Like, it wasn't bad until I got my car reput.
That's a sacrifice.
That's absolutely a
So how was
sacrifice
that?
because I had to let it go. I knew it was like I voluntarily reput it because I couldn't afford the payments because I was no longer working, but I knew that was coming. So I was saving up and bought, like, you know, just a little runner just to get me through school because I knew I just had to get done.
So that was a sacrifice that you made and something that you planned for. Like, I think people need to really understand that because it's one thing to wake up and go outside and your car be gone. But, you know, as a mother of 4, that you can't risk that. So you voluntarily turned it in when you had enough money saved to get you, you know, a car that would get you through school.
Yep.
Look at you. You was a real, like, little genius. All right, so you got your car reput. And what was that like? Like, how was you getting around with 4 kids?
During that time, it took me, I think, it took me 4 extra weeks to get a car. And during them 4 weeks, I had to wake up in the morning, call an Uber to take us down to the daycare to drop my kids off for me to catch the bus from there to school. And then, you know, like vice versa back, catch the bus from school to the daycare, pick them up, catch an Uber home. Every day.
How much was those Ubers? Dang.
$10 per ride.
So that's $20 a day
$20
just
a
on
day.
transportation. $100 a week, $400 a month.
Girl.
That is a car note.
Yeah, and I did it for a whole month.
Dang. Talk about strength and dedication.
Yeah.
For real, and determination. Because like that could have broke a lot of people.
Oh my goodness.
That would have broke a lot of people down.
I cried, believe me. I just I don't know, I just needed to get it together. I just was like, I have to get it together. As many times, like, I thank God for my friends and my mom and, you know, the people who was in my ear encouraging me and stuff, because there was times I wanted to quit. There was a lot of times I just wanted to quit.
You feel like
and
that?
Go back to work and like, yeah, I can't be like this. Like, you know, I just don't want to live here. Like, just it was a challenge.
But what made you keep going? Like
my kids.
Yes.
My kids.
Yes.
I just wanted to give them better, and I'm like, y'all have to, like, we live one life. We're going to live our best life. We have to, like, and I gotta, like, live this. Like, my mom kept telling me, you kept telling me, like, you gotta, like, it'll be worth it later. You gotta just keep pushing, like, you gotta work for what you want.
And it makes you appreciate it when you get it so much more.
Yeah.
Dang, like,
I pushed through.
Look at you. I don't even think you be realizing how strong you are sometimes. I really don't.
I mean, it gotta be for my babies. If I don't, who will?
That's true. That's so true. That is so true.
All we got.
So you at school, this third time. I'm sure everyone listening wants to know, did you finish?
Absolutely.
And how did that make you feel?
I cried so hard. I cried. I was so emotional, like, the last 2 weeks of me. I was just like, oh my God. I really felt like something was going to happen that was going to like ruin my chances.
Talk about that. Talk about like how the school was acting, clinicals, like how you just was like the devil was working, y'all.
And the devil was working with kids daycare again. It was like definitely like the devil was working. That's all I can say. And I really was just like, something, it's just not meant. I just don't want to, like, maybe it's just not meant. What if it's like not my time? And everybody's like, I mean, you gotta like work for what you want, like. And I couldn't make no excuses.
Yes.
Like, my kids is watching me.
Yes.
They think I'm a doctor.
Yes.
Everybody, my mom's a doctor. I can't quit. So.
Dang. I'm really in a graduation party, y'all. It was lit, and she did
Super
that.
lit.
She did that. For real. She really did. I was proud of you. Probably my most proudest moment of you. So, as a mother, what do you think was the hardest part about your entire journey? Like, if you could just sum it up in one thing.
I just felt like the world just was not working in my favor. Mm-hmm. And it was hard because I felt like my kids felt that energy. Like, I always made sure my kids never lacked in nothing, like they wanted or needed or anything. But I still felt like we couldn't, like, I wasn't mentally there. So mm-hmm. I would pretend, but I felt like they felt that energy, like, you know, and I felt like that wasn't fair to them. So right. Like it was definitely a challenge there, because looking back, that's like the biggest thing I'm like in regret of. Like, mm-hmm.
Oh, I never knew you felt like that. So what was the most joyous moment so far being the mother? Like, what was your happiest moment?
Like we're just in such a happier space. Like we're just like everybody's bonding, everybody's.
Do you have a story? Close. Like, what's like? You could give us a story of like just a moment you was just relieved, like finally, like everything I worked for over these years.
The day I graduated and I went and picked up my kids after I took my test, I just like hugged them and like just was like holding them, like, you know, we're gonna be okay. Like, mm-hmm. I told y'all we're gonna be okay. I mean, we were always okay, but we're gonna live like our best life. We're gonna be good. We're not just going to be okay. We're going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Super good.
Like, super good. Mentally, emotionally.
Well, I was just about to ask you, like, so throughout your journey, how do you feel like mentally you've grown? Like, what do you feel like going all the way back to before Ricky was born to where you are now?
I feel like I'm a much stronger person mentally. Like, mm-hmm. a very much stronger person. I feel like I'm, like, at my peak. Like, as far as my peace-wise, like, I got a routine. Me and my kids are, like, happy, and I feel like I'm, like, much smarter than I was then. So now I'm just focusing on me and my babies.
Mm-hmm. And mentally, you've grown a lot, I could say, throughout this journey.
Yeah, definitely.
Just me from the outside looking in, I feel like, you know, you're very more mature. You're all about, like, you and your kids. I feel like you've always been, like, you know, about you and your kids. But I feel like now it's just, like, it's either that or nothing. Like, you're not letting nothing or no mm-hmm. one, like, you know, distract you or get in your way. And
that's
you
exactly
know?
What it is. No distractions at all.
So now you finished school. And so what do you do? What did you go to school for?
I am a surgical technologist.
Oh, good. I'm just saying, brag a little bit, sis. Okay. Shit, you worked hard for that title. Let them know.
I did.
Okay, for everybody listening, that was my sis, teachers.
I really did.
Counselors. I mean, yeah, I don't know what you call them. People at the hospitals. Everybody who was coming for you.
Mm-hmm. The devil.
Yes, you made it out. Do you love what you do now?
I love what I do.
Thank you. And you have a career.
Yes, a career.
The babies think you're what? A doctor?
Yeah, my kids think I'm a doctor because they see me in my scrubs and with my mask on, and they see like pictures and stuff, and they're like, "My mom's a doctor." They don't understand.
Yeah. Oh, that is so cute. So what advice would you give someone who feels like they're in a similar situation and just feel like, you know, my kids are relying on me, but it's so hard to make it out and that they don't see, like, Someone who don't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, first of all, you have to be completely mentally there. Like, you have to be, like, ready to sacrifice any and everything for what you want. Like, you have to keep pushing. You gotta, like, I know it may, like, sound hard, but it's, people would tell me, like, it's going to be okay. I used to cry, like, well, when? Like, it felt like it was never going to be okay. And now I could, like, look back and it was all worth it. Like, so I would definitely tell you keep pushing. And, like, that light will come.
Yes.
As long as you work for it, keep pushing.
Keep
God
pushing.
See you.
Okay, yes, God sees you. God sees you.
That work is not unnoticed.
Yes. And one last thing, like, what do you feel like the past 5 years has taught you about everything?
It's taught me patience. It's taught me growth. Like, cause I feel like, and it's been a blessing because, like, I feel like I teach my kids as I learn. So, like, we learn together and we grow together, and it's definitely teaching me a lot as a parent. Like, cause being a mom don't come in the manual. Like, you learn as, like, you make mistakes as well, and it's definitely, like,
taught you a lot
a
about
lot.
life too.
Yes, teach my kids stuff, and as I learn stuff, and we get to live our best life together. Like, because, they was with me my whole struggling journey and stuff. And now we're reaping the benefits.
Yes. And what would you say to, like, all the hate that a lot of, like, single mothers get when they say, like, they're all on welfare, and just kind of like a negative stigma around single mothers? Like, because you're a single mother that, you're one of the success stories. I always tell you that a lot of people don't make it out of what you came out of. So what would you say to those people who doubt single mothers and their abilities?
To the women who doubt them? Or, to the people who doubt them?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not their business. Like, it's, or they the one taking care of your babies. Right. Or they the one feeding your babies. Right. Stuff. Like, I hate when people talk about people's age or how many kids they got. Or you helping me? Bad summer, fall clothes and all that. Like, so don't worry about what I'm doing. Like, my kids are good. Like, so if I'm using assistance to take advantage and get ahead, and so be it. As long as you're not abusing the system, then I don't see a problem with it. So, you using it to do what you gotta do, to, like, get on your feet, to work on your credit, to go to school, so what? You ain't gonna be there forever. And let them, absolutely. And let them people sit there and hate now, and they'll see you shine later, and then, like, just look dumb. Let them, like, you know what I mean? Like, just let them be great.
Okay, I hear that. You got real passionate.
Okay, because I dealt with it. And, like, it was hard. Like, it was a lot.
Don't come for single mothers around Lena, or mothers in general.
No, because we work hard. Yes. Yeah, don't do that.
Yes, I agree. Like I said earlier, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers
listening. Happy Mother's Day, ladies.
I hope that you're appreciated. I hope your kids tell you that you're appreciated. And
if they don't, then they feel it.
If they don't, then I'm telling you.
Okay.
Lena's telling you are appreciated.
I tip my hat.
Thank you for listening. Lane, any last final words?
Nope, I'm out, y'all. I wish y'all the best. Like,
tell them your Instagram where they can follow you.
Follow me at same old Lena. Well, same old _ Lena on Instagram.
Okay. And we out. Lastly, I want to encourage my listeners to be all that you were meant to be with your boldness, to love the skin that you're in with your brown, glowing melanin. And remember, just because you're opinionated does not mean you're angry. So never be afraid to have an opinion. And before I go, please follow The Bold, The Brown, and The Opinionated Podcast on Facebook and Instagram for all your podcast updates. And until next time, my BBO gang, deuces.